Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about project management. But before I start my presentation, my name is Muhammad Amir Arif bin Muhammad Khidir alias Madir. My student ID is TL25050. Alright, so this is project management introduction. What is a project? Project is a temporary mission with a specific goal, start date and end date. So, what is the triple constraint? It is a project success depends on balancing scope, time, and cost. A structured path from concept to completion. So, as you can see, we have a five-phase project life cycle. We have initiation, second we have planning, develop a detailed roadmap. Third we have execution, carry out the plan, and produce deliverable. Fourth we have monitoring and controlling, and fifth we have closure. All right. And then we have project management. What is project? Project is a unique process consisting of a set coordinated control activities with start and finish date undertaken undertaken to achieve an objective conforming to specific requirements including constraint of time, cost, quality and resources. And what is the meaning of project management? Project management refers to the use of knowledge, skills, techniques, and methods to oversee a project from inception to fruition. It helps make sure that that a unique project achieve defined objective according to a specified time frame, budget, and scope. So, what is this key aspect that are important in this part? We have time. How long is the duration of the project? Budget. Will the budget is sufficient for the project? Scope. What is the work that are need to be done? Why managing the project is matter the most? As you can see here, we have core area of one, goal focus, two we have scope control, and three risk approach for communication. And as you can see, the PET project management focuses on busy work and outputs, uncontrolled scope creep, firefighting problem after they occur, siloed, reactive, and confusing. Effective project management, we have aligned with strategic business outcomes, manage changes with timeline adjustment, anticipating risk with built-in backup plans, transparent, proactive, and structured. All right, for the first part of the project management strategy, we have initiation. All right, initiation process. First, we have defined the purpose. We clarify why the project exists and what outcome it is expected to deliver. Second, we have set boundaries. We establish high-level scope, constraint, and what the project will not include. And third, we have validate feasibility. Assess whether the project is realistic in terms of time, cost, and resources. And lastly, we have approved the work. We formally authorize the project so planning can begin with clarity. Stakeholder identification. It is a fundamental pillar of Phase 1, involving identifying all core internal and external parties affected by engineering project. First, we have a dedicated profiling, creating thorough stakeholder profiles that detail their particular interests, mode of communication, and possible concerns. Second, we have stakeholder engagement, creating engagement plan tailored specifically to fit the different requirement of different group, from high power or high interest partnership to low power or low interest observation. And lastly, we have risk opportunity matrix. We determine the possible risks and collaborative opportunities for positive stakeholder involvement. And then we have project charter. First, official project mandate. The project charter represents the formal authorization document giving the project manager right to proceed. Second, we have stakeholder expectation alignment. We outline high-level need and critical parameters directly approved by core sponsors. And then we have milestone target summary, lock-in measure expected delivery schedules, and overall final completion target. And lastly, we have high-level baseline budget. We approve initial financial bond to prevent early uncontrolled scope creep. And then the second last, we have project feasibility and evaluation. First, we have resource assessment, evaluation, the project capabilities and resources. And then we have ROI analysis, calculate and determine the return rate of the project. And then we have initiation flow. So first we have project approval. The project is officially approved and feasibility is proven. Second, we have team assembly. The team is assembled with right skill and experience. Third, we have workspace setup. The workspace is set up and with necessary tools and resources. And lastly, we have team structure consideration. The team structure is considered based on project need. Alright, for the second phase, we have planning. Alright, scope definition and WBS. What is WBS? It is a breakdown at the entire scope of the project into workable smaller units or work packages. It guarantees that each physical activity is well organized and leave nothing out of calculation. Second, we have responsibility assignment, incorporation of the work breakdown structure and organizational breakdown structure will ensure that management is able to create accountability in relation to each project task through use of a common RACI metrics framework. Alright, step 2 we have schedule and budgeting, precise milestone and cost track. Developing the project roadmap requires mapping activities linearly on a timeline. We map standard dependencies using logical critical path method, Gantt chart and cost baseline. This chart help visually track progress against baseline projection, baseline cost calculation prevent initial budgets from exceeding safe financial margins. And step 3 we have risk and communication. The first we have the project risk register. We outline identified potential hazards, analyzing probability of occurrence, impact level, and preventative backups. Second, we have structured communication plans. We lays down clear parameters on who get project updates in what form, what format, and at what intervals. And lastly, we have approved quality standards. We assure that precise technical parameters and metrics are locked down before hands-on execution begins. Right, so we are in the third part of the project management strategy, execution. Asset mobilization. First, we have assembly delivery team. Formally secure and assign the required technical specialists, engineers, and physical tools. Establish baseline team protocols during an official internal project kickoff session. And second, we have detailed task allocation. Distribute defined work packages out of specific team members, ensuring that everyone possesses the requisite project authorization and software access to succeed. Hands-on activity coordination. This stage focuses on managing daily engineering and physical activities to build up the deliverable established during phase 2. Performance drive. Project manager coordinate tasks hand off, maintain high motivation, and immediately resolve resource bottleneck to keep schedule metrics strictly aligned with the calendar. And then lastly, we have quality assurance. First, regular deliverable auditing, continually assessing intermediate outputs against the pre-approved baseline specs. Second, we have right first time strategy, cultivating quality awareness inside the project team to minimize costly engineering reworks. And lastly, we have continuous execution logs, rigorously cataloging exact physical steps and variation to preserve valuable institutional knowledge. Fourth part of the project management strategy, monitoring and controlling. What is project monitoring and control? For project monitoring and control, we use a PMBOK 8. It is a monitoring and controlling method. First, we have a measure performance. We collect and analyze baseline data across project scope, schedule, cost, quality, and risk metrics. Second, we have identify variance. We compare actual system performance against established plans to immediately look at deviation. And third, we have managed project issues. We address roadblock, prioritize emerging risks, and steer execution to protect intended business value. And lastly, we have take action. We apply targeted corrective or preventive changes to align the execution parameter with the approved plan. Why project monitoring and control matters? First, we have early issue identification. It enables the project manager to have ample time to prepare for possible challenges on the schedule and resource management front so that he or she can proactively manage possible risks. Second, we have operational ownership, provide performance metric to important goals on a day-to-day basis, thus making it easy to track individual projects' success against each team member, leading to enhanced personal responsibility. Lastly, we have transparent reporting, provide consistent and reliable status reporting, ensuring that important decision makers are always up to date with the latest information in order for the leadership team to make informed decisions. There is four types of project monitoring. First, we have project schedule control, monitors the status of the completion of tasks and milestone relative to the timeline to spot possible delays, thereby helping manager manage schedules so as not to jeopardize their deadline. Second, we have cost management, compares actual spending against the approved budget to identify expenses that exceeded planned costs, ensuring financial transparency while empowering teams to implement corrective action before facing severe budget overrun. Third, we have scope assurance, guarantee that the project accomplished what was initially intended and that any changes that are made are approved prior to implementation, ensuring that there is no scope creep that may hinder initial objective. And lastly, we have quality standard review, evaluating the deliverable according to the standard sets during the planning phase to ensure that the deliverable satisfy the needs of the stakeholder and ensuring optimum level of performance. And then for the last part of the project management strategy, we have closure. What is closure phase in project management? This is a this is a process that ensures that there is closure in a project in a manner that makes sense. Instead of just stopping, the closing phase is about ensuring that sponsor satisfaction is confirmed, transitioning responsibility for continuing activities and documenting the experience. Closing services from the PMO. First, we have operational transition. The PMO works with a production service owner in making sure that project deliverables are handed over to operation without security issues. Second, we have project closure report advice. We assist your organization in compiling and drafting the project closure report and ensuring its submission in order to obtain much needed approval from the project sponsors. Lastly, we have team celebration. We facilitated brainstorming meeting in order to come up with creative way of recognizing and celebrating the achievement of the project team members. And then we have closing process activities. First, we have deliverable acceptance. We ensure the formal acceptance of all deliverables for the project, making sure that all requirements are met according to the preset quality guideline and scope requirement. Second, we have operational transfer. We make sure that all the operation of the project are transferred to the designated production services owners, ensuring seamless coordination and organizational preparedness for its operational needs. That we have lesson learned. Lesson learned, we document all the valuable lesson learned from this process in order to identify key learning points, areas of improvement, as well as success criteria that will benefit the organization in the future. And lastly, we have formalized closure. We complete the closing stage of the project by ensuring that the formal closure from both the project manager and the sponsor. Duties of the project manager in the closing phase. First, we have project closure report. Produce the comprehensive project closure report by collecting crucial information from the team and obtaining written acknowledgement. Second, we have closeout checklist. Complete the project closeout checklist in its entirety to confirm that all necessary administrative activities satisfactorily completed. Lastly, we have satisfaction survey. Conduct the project satisfaction survey officially through appendix and analyze result to assess stakeholder satisfaction and team performance. Alright, so for the conclusion part, management of project is an effective way of converting ideas into successful implementation with proper management of all five stages involved in any project. organizations are able to accomplish their goals and have control over the scope, time, cost, and quality and risk involved. Successfully, project implementation pave way for future improvement in subsequent project. Alright, so this is my reference. Thank you. That's all from me.